Alright, I am starting with this really cute coffee mug. I got this on Amazon. It was a little pricey, but I will link it down below if it's still available if you guys are interested. It's just a very different shape for stainless, and I loved that it had like this kind of coffee cup lid, so I just wanted to test it out. But you can see it kind of snaps closed so it won't spill. I really like that feature. Like I said, it is stainless. I just love trying different shapes and different types of cups. So it did have this rubber on the bottom, so I peeled that off. And I would have left it, but it was kind of roomy underneath. And I knew that putting the epoxy over it, it could flex and crack. So I had to dig out the rest of the rubber down there, but then I prepped with Mattify, of course. So then once it was prepped and I had cleaned out most of that rubber under there, I'm just going to fill in and make the bottom level with the fast set epoxy. This is the 1:1 thick fast set, and this worked so well. I was really pleased. So I basically just mixed them up and poured it in slowly. I didn't want to overfill it. And then I kind of went in the side on that little, in that like inner rim part, and just kind of gently pushed it in there. So you can see here I'm getting it completely filled, all nice and level. And then I torched it. So then once that was dry, it was literally dry in like an hour. It was crazy. I'm taking some white Color Fix paint and just coloring that so that it blends in with the rest of the cup. And I figured since my white is a little brighter, I just would paint the entire cup. So I went ahead and did a full coat on the whole cup. Then I went in with a second coat. And this is where this process is going to be really fast. With the wet Color Fix paint, I went in right away with Snowy and Medium. This would also work with Snowy and Small, but I thought Medium would just be better. So just right over the Color Fix paint, paint's wet, going right on with glitter. So just doing full coverage of the white glitter. Then while the paint was still wet, I'm going in with a black and brown alcohol ink. I'm also going to use some copper just to give it a little more color to it. I don't know. So starting off with the brown, just kind of going around making splotches. Like honestly, don't try to think too hard about this because you'll end up making it look too perfect. Like literally just squirt it on. It's going to be imperfect, but that's kind of the point. Cows don't have perfect spots, so we're trying to make it look as realistic as we can. And this was literally the easiest thing. I thought it was going to be harder than it was, but it was so easy. But these cow tumblers are just so cute. I cannot get over it. So I want to make like 500 more. So then for the little dots, I was kind of tapping the glitter, and then I realized later that I shouldn't be touching the cup because the glitter is still wet, or the paint under the glitter is still wet. So you could move some of that glitter. So see there, I kind of moved it a little bit. So I was like, oh, I shouldn't do that. So then going on with black, and I'm just kind of going on kind of the middle or sides of the spots I already did, just randomly, just kind of adding depth to it and some different colors because cows don't just have one shade of brown. They have, you know, all different variations of colors. So then I'm adding the copper. I felt like it just kind of added a little bit more of that like reddy tone, reddy orange tone that cows have a lot of the time. You could obviously do whatever colors you want. I just really liked how this looked. And I do go back in with some black after this because I felt like there was a little too much copper. So then just going back on with some more black, like I said, just to kind of make it a little more darker. So that is how it was looking. I am obsessed with how it turned out. Like, it's so easy to make it look like a cow. So then, of course, let that dry and seal with some clear spray paint. I gave it about 2 or 3 coats of the spray paint, and then once it was all dry, I went on with my Artistry epoxy. This is the fast set that I'm using, even though there's my regular in the background. But I think the whole cup I used fast set on this one. I have here cut out 2 different colors of vinyl and a shape tape. Go check out my shape tape video if you want to see how I cut out the shape tape decal. I'd show you really detailed how I did that. So this I just wanted as a coffee mug. I just thought it would be really cute since it's like the coffee cup. So just doing that in the kind of coppery color, the black, and then here's the shape tape. So then I first pick up the shape tape on some, this is just clear packing tape to transfer it to the cup. Then stacking that on top of the copper one. Then finally on top of the black. And then I just set that to the side. I wanted to add a little kind of splotch of color behind it. So first I did this turquoise color. Then because I'm in Texas, I literally sat there for like 30 seconds and was able to spray the white. So then I just let that dry, then going in with some acetone to kind of rub this away and make it look a little distressed. And I wanted to make sure I didn't go over where I was putting my decal, so I just cut out a piece of tape in that shape. I wish I would have had just kind of marked it with a pencil or something, because you'll see when I take the tape off, it kind of has like a clear line of just white, where the rest of it has like a little bit of that turquoise on it. So just kind of wiping that as I see just wherever, kind of making it look random and distressed. So then I had it where I kind of wanted it, and I just kind of am going around the edge to clean it up. Then just taking a Q-tip and really getting in there and cleaning up all the edges really nicely, so we have like no kind of messy look, if that makes sense. So then it was time for the decal. I did just want to test if I could do decal right over paint instead of, I normally would just do a layer of epoxy and then decal over the epoxy, but I wanted to see if it would just work fine, which the decal part worked fine, but you'll see the glitter was a mess, but I worked it out. And I like to test things and just see what works, what doesn't. You kind of never really find new ways of doing things if you're not willing to test and try out things. So that's one thing I'm always doing. Sometimes it's a fail and sometimes it turns out great. So just putting my coffee decal right in the center. Then peeling off the top, which also peels off the top layer of Shape Tape. So I'm going in with the small cut of Oryx. It's just a really dark brown. And I feel like if I had used a medium cut, it wouldn't have been as bad, but it kind of stuck to the white paint a little bit. So I think even if I had sprayed a clear spray paint, it would have not stuck, but because it was not 100% dry and it was fine, like smaller glitter, it did not want to come off. So I ended up just taking white Color Fix paint and just going in. I had to do 2 coats and just kind of painting over it, which took a little bit, but it was faster than redoing the whole decal. And I also liked the fact that I could cover up more of the turquoise color. I thought it was just looking a little too blue, too turquoise, if I could say that. So I just kind of covered some of that up and it kind of brought the more bright white back. So that's what it ended up looking like. I really love how it just looks a little more distressed with, you know, like the kind of white paint kind of on there. So then I sealed that with clear spray paint, and then going in, I believe I did 2 more layers to finish this cup. Then it was done, and I'm so obsessed with it. It's so cute. I did try to put the lid on, and it doesn't want to go on very well because it screws on and because the epoxy made it thicker. So I do need to shave down the top edges just a little bit. So just keep that in mind if you do want to order this cup. But look how cute she turned out. I cannot get over how cute it is. And I'm just like, get ready for a lot of cow tutorials because I'm obsessed. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you in the next one. Bye.